All right. Hello, people, English learners, students, friends. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. So, in the chat, again, let us know where you're joining us, and also maybe tell us, I don't know, tell us what you did today. Tell us something that you did this morning or this afternoon. And if you're watching this at a later time, again, write a comment. Tell us what you did today. Like reading your stuff, and I promise I will reply. I will reply. Marco, what's up? How are you doing? Good to have you here. So, I like having conversations. I like interacting with you guys. So, speaking of conversations and dialogue, today I want to talk to you about something that, as an English teacher, it's very important to me. And I think also for you guys learning English or any other language for that matter, this is something that I think is very useful and helpful. And that is this. We're going to talk about the benefits of using subtitles. So I first want to start out by saying that this is something that, again, it's not controversial, but I think there are some linguists and teachers and people out there that have looked at this and they've said, well, you know, subtitles, you can't learn a language using subtitles, or it doesn't help. And other people think it does. So today I'm going to give you my opinion, my perspective. And the one thing I will say is that I do agree with some of it, in that I don't think you can just learn a language only with subtitles. So for example, I don't speak French. And I don't think I could sit in front of a TV and watch movies and television with French subtitles and that I'm going to learn the language that way. But I do think that if you are studying a language and you are getting classroom study and you are using a book and you are using other resources and practicing your listening, your reading, your writing, and your speaking, subtitles can really help complement what you are trying to learn and what you are doing, and complement your overall language skills. And truthfully, I definitely don't think it hurts. So it's not something that I think you have to do always, but I think it is useful, especially in the right context, and that there is a lot of value that you can gain from using subtitles to watch TV, movies, or even English lessons on YouTube. So, Marco, how are you? I am doing extremely well. It's a nice weekend here. It was rainy last weekend. Now it's a beautiful day outside. And afterwards, I think we're going to go out for a walk. So, hello, Pearl from India. Excellent. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Today, as I showed you, I'm going to talk about the benefits of using subtitles. So, to tell you a little story, quick little story, when I first learned that it's useful to use subtitles, I was learning Spanish, and I had been studying Spanish for quite a while. I studied at a school in Spain. I was doing self-study. I was doing work in books, and this was when I was on a trip in Latin America. I was actually in Paraguay, of all places. And during this whole time, as I'm learning Spanish, I'm listening to music. I really love the music. And my listening skills, I'll be honest, they're pretty bad. So I would listen to the music and I would enjoy it, but often I didn't understand all of the words. And that was okay, because you're kind of listening to music and you're just enjoying the rhythm, the flow, and the beats. So it wasn't until this one trip when I was in Paraguay and I went out with a group of friends to a karaoke bar. And you know, I'm guessing most of us have been to do karaoke, and you are singing the song, but the words are up there. It's like they have subtitles with the songs, so the person singing knows what to sing. So at this karaoke bar, all of the music was mostly Spanish, and it was music I was familiar with. And when I'm sitting there listening to people sing these songs and reading along with it, I started to notice, I was like, oh, okay, that's what they're saying. I began to understand actually the words that were in the song, and it had a lot more meaning. And I think that's when I first discovered that, okay, subtitles can be very useful on many different levels. Hello from Malaysia, Thailand. Excellent. Have people from all over the place. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm guessing it's pretty late at night there, so thank you for joining us. So, first reason I want to show you the benefit of using subtitles is this: a better understanding. So my question for you is as follows. Do you prefer subtitles or do you prefer without subtitles? When you're watching something in English, all right, do you prefer to use subtitles or do you prefer no subtitles? Let us know in the comments. Write it in the chat, or if you're watching this later, again, please answer the question, write it in the comments section. We like to hear from all of you guys and interact with you. So in the chat, let us know, do you prefer subtitles or without? And again, there's no right or wrong answer. We're all different learners. We prefer different learning styles, and we prefer to work on different skills. So I'm kind of curious what you guys think of subtitles. Do you enjoy using them? Do you not enjoy using them? Do you use them sometimes? So do you prefer subtitles or without? Write it in the chat. Let me know. So there are a lot of benefits, I think, to using subtitles, and that first one is a better understanding, because it complements our other language skills. So it complements, our reading skills, definitely, which I will get to in a moment. It complements our listening skills. It can complement our grammar skills because we are able to see the syntax of a language. And syntax is just the way that words are ordered in a sentence. So there are many skills that it can complement if we are using subtitles. It also allows, because we're getting this extra reading skill that we're able to use, it allows information to be processed more easily. We're able to understand it a little better. So again, depending on your learning style, depending on where you are at and your level of English, if you are a high beginner or low intermediate, or if you're an advanced learner, it's going to depend on what you want to do and how much it can help you. So someone who I usually prefer subtitles because they can easily understand. Exactly. Thank you for sharing with us. It does make it easy to understand where you're at throughout this process. That quote, it's kind of an expression, maybe a bit of a proverb, that it says we must learn to walk before we can run. That basically, whenever you are learning something, whether it's learning a language or you're learning how to play the piano, you start at step 1 and you go through a process and maybe get to step 20. You don't just go from 1 to 20. There is an in-between period. So when you are learning a language, you're a beginner, and then an intermediate, and then advanced. So personally, I think subtitles can really help bridge a gap. If you are a high beginner or low intermediate learner, I think it can help immensely because it gives you the ability to watch things that maybe you normally would not be able to watch on your own, just listening to, and understand completely. So it really helps at that level to be able to sit down and watch an entire movie or to watch a TV series and really understand what's happening and really stay with it. So subtitles can really be useful in that way. Have some people comment, I prefer subtitles, especially when I watch movies, because they talk very fast. Exactly. Oftentimes, I'm going to get to that also as well about colloquial speech, which is more informal, the way people speak out on the streets or just casually with each other. Many times people tend to speak very fast, so subtitles can be useful. So a better understanding is what it can give many of us if we are learning the language. Again, if you are just joining us, say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're from, what you're doing today, and join our conversation about subtitles. So the next reason why, the next benefit of using subtitles, as I said before, is it improves our reading and literacy skills. And I think it's very obvious why it would do that, because you are reading. You are reading and you're having to read at a quicker pace. You're having to read at the pace that people are speaking. So I think it really helps improve our reading skills. And my question for you, you can let us know in the chat, is do you feel like you read enough? Personally, I feel that reading it's a little bit of a lost art nowadays. I think people tend to spend less time reading and more time watching now that we have social media and all the internet and so many different options out there. Or I think an issue for me is that I'll still read. I'll just read in smaller increments. So I'll find something online and I'll read it. It's a short article and then that's it. So I'm still reading, but I'm reading less, I feel like, nowadays. So how do you feel like you get to read enough, and are you satisfied with the amount of reading that you do? Because when it comes to language learning, I think reading is definitely undervalued as far as the benefit that we get from reading books, reading articles, reading stories. I think it helps so much. And the reason I think it really helps so much is because, again, you're more likely to remember the material. That if you are just listening, then chances are there's a good chance that you might forget the next day or a few days later. If you're reading, there's a better chance that you're going to remember. And because of that, it reinforces that knowledge that you're gaining by listening to somebody talk in a video and also watching them, because again, you're watching a movie or a TV show, or even on YouTube, you are watching something and you can use the captions or the subtitles. Mark said, I read almost nothing. All right. So again, a lot of us depends on, our time, our schedules. Maybe we don't get enough time to read as much as we like. So again, subtitles are a way that we can practice those reading skills while we're doing other things, while you are watching something. So you get to do two birds and one stone, which is an idiom that means you get to do two things and accomplish two things at the same time. So the next benefit that I have for you is somebody, you had mentioned earlier that people talk very fast because a lot of times they're using informal speech. And that's why when you're using subtitles and you get to see the words that everybody is saying, you get to learn new words and phrases because you are learning these colloquial expressions such as idioms, such as phrasal verbs, and not only learning them, but learning when to use them. So oftentimes you might hear somebody say a phrasal verb, but it's that preposition at the end that if you don't hear that, then it can completely change the meaning. And if you're using subtitles, you could see that, oh, okay, they said put on, which is very different than the meaning of put out or put up. So it can really help you understand and learn these new words and phrases and get to see when to use them. So my question, oh, I had my question for you guys that I want you to put in the chat and let us know. Can you tell us, share with us, what is a new word or phrase that you recently learned? All right, what's a new word or phrase that you recently learned? Share it with us because maybe somebody else does not know that word. So share it with us in the chat, or if you're watching this later, write that word in the comment. Because again, when you write this word that you recently learned, you are reinforcing your ability to remember that word. So please write it in the chat. What is a new word or phrase that you have learned? So again, Sunlight Pearl just shared it. It does help me improve my reading speed, pronunciation, and increase vocabulary. Yes, there are many benefits, and especially I think the reading speed is a huge one. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about with learning new words and phrases was the subject-specific vocabulary. So I have an example for you. If you are watching a TV series that has to do with a hospital or doctors, they're going to use a lot of medical vocabulary. And if you're using subtitles, a lot of this, many of these words, because it is very subject specific, it is about medicine, a lot of these words you may not have heard before. So instead of just listening to somebody say the word and maybe you're not sure how that word is spelled, if you're using subtitles, then you'll really get to see the word, and then maybe you can look it up if you really want to know what it means, and then there you go. You've just learned a new word because they're really talking about subject-specific vocabulary depending on maybe the TV show or the movie or the YouTube video that you might be watching. Hi from Turkey, almost 6 p.m. Yes, it's getting late. It is almost dinner time. So this is another example. I used to show my students Grey's Anatomy. So Grey's Anatomy is a TV series. I don't think it's still running. It's a bit older, but it is about doctors in the hospital. So they use a lot of that specific vocabulary. Yesterday I came across the word enigma. Excellent. Yes, that is a good word. Stood me up. That is a good phrasal verb, idiom, expression that you can use. So if somebody stands somebody up, that they make plans and then they don't show up, which is not good. So again, you can learn using subtitles, you can learn these new words, these new phrases, and it really, really, really helps. And again, I'm not saying that you have to use subtitles all the time. It's up to you. This is your decision. But I think it is good to mix it up. And even if you do understand most of the stuff, just, throw the subtitles on. Practice those skills, the reading. The last thing that I wanted to show you is some of the other benefits of using subtitles. And the question that I have for you this time is, how often do you guys usually use subtitles? How often do you use them? Do you never use them? Do you seldom use them? Do you sometimes use them? Or do you often use them, or always? Tell us, how often do you use subtitles, and do you like using subtitles? But there are other benefits and other reasons why we might use subtitles. The first one I have up there is the accent. Maybe you are watching something and the accent is difficult to understand. This has happened to me in watching some movies, even in English. I'll give you an example. I was watching a long time ago, there was a movie, British film. It's called Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Good movie, by the way, if you want to watch it. But it is about, it takes place in London, and these guys in the movie, they have this very, very thick, they have those thick Cockney accents. And especially at the beginning, it was a little difficult to understand. So I turned on the subtitles and I was watching, it was a movie in English, but I was watching it with subtitles because, again, it was helping me understand a little better what exactly was going on and what exactly was being said. So if the accent, if you're watching something and you're not familiar with the accent, whether it's an American accent, a British accent, South African accent, it does help to use subtitles. That is a benefit. Sometimes if you are watching something and the video quality is not that good and you don't have the visual reference so that you understand what's happening, it's good to use subtitles. Also, maybe you might be watching something that the audio is not very good, and that can help when you're using subtitles so that you don't miss what is being said. Pearl said, almost every time watching The Big Bang Theory. That is excellent. That is a funny show. It is a good show to watch. And if you're using subtitles, again, you can it makes it easier to understand, because even in that show, it's a more of a casual. It's a comedy show. They're using specific vocabulary because it is about scientists. So they're using some of those more technical terms, probably vocabulary words that people don't use in everyday English. Estella, hi from Argentina. Hello. How are you? Excellent. Thanks for joining us. Again, these are some of the benefits that you get from using subtitles. So again, in the chat or the comments, let us know how often you like using subtitles and why you think it is beneficial. I like hearing from you guys. The last thing you might have noticed, I don't know if you've seen in our video lessons, we always try to write and put English captions in there so that if you want to use subtitles when you watch our lessons, they are available to you in English. We don't do that with these live lessons, mostly because they are very long. They're 20 to 30 minutes, and it would take hours and hours to put those in there. YouTube does automated captions, but with our regular lessons that come out on Tuesdays, we put those English subtitles in there. So my last request to you, if you are interested in helping us out in any way, shape, or form, again, you can help contribute subtitles in your native language, because this makes it more accessible to everyone. Now, I know that you might be thinking like, oh, well, if you're going to use subtitles, you should use English. And I think that is true. I think it's more helpful to use English, especially when you're watching an English instructional video. However, again, remember the quote that I talked to you about at the beginning. It said, before we can run, we have to learn how to walk. So if you are at a beginner level, or if you are at a higher beginner level and you want to watch some English instructional video, that person might be more comfortable using subtitles in their own native language, again, so they can understand everything. And I completely understand that. And it would help us, if you are interested, to contribute some subtitles in your native language. I've put some instructions up there how to do it. If you have a video of ours that you enjoyed, you can go to the video, and then down below the screen, there's that little gear icon. There's that little wheel. You just click on that, and you could select subtitles, and it says add subtitles in CC, and from there, it will take you, and you can put in the subtitles for us and contribute to our community, our lessons, which again will help others enjoy our videos and help us spread the word, which is very important, and we would truly appreciate it. So again, this was a little short lesson. From the Dominican Republic. Excellent. Awesome. We got people from everywhere. Thanks for joining us. Again, thanks for joining us. We're kind of wrapping things up at this point. Sorry about that, but we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any other questions or comments, please, we're going to publish this video. Write them in the comments section. We enjoy reading them. We enjoy interacting and talking to you guys. So write those in the comments, and we will get back to you. If you enjoyed our lessons, please like and share. And you can also check out our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. We're posting new stuff every day, questions, quizzing you, giving you information to help you practice and improve your English skills. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. We will be back next Saturday with another live lesson, and we have another video coming out on Tuesday. So any other comments, let us know, and we will get back to you. But thank you for watching and joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.